Hey everyone, it's nearly time. Season of Discovery is finally reaching Phase 4 and level 60. I'm a little bit torn about how I feel about this, if I'm honest. My favourite phase, without doubt, was Phase 1. Collecting alts, trying all the runes, which there were loads and loads of. The professions and gold-making side of things were incredibly cool in Phase 1. The cap on professions made all kinds of things more relevant than they had been previously. Moving on to Phase 2, I really liked a lot of the changes and the additional content. I was disappointed at some of the dungeons available, but STV was a great addition and it still felt like there was loads to do. The crate reputations were buffed, so you earned golds for handing in, and it was a great time to be a crafter. You could just sell so much so fast. Phase 3 though, level 50, was a bit of a sticking block. Exploit early, exploit often really comes to mind where gold was concerned in Phase 3. Phase 3 was a time of frustration, not just for me, but for a lot of gold makers. You spend all of Phase 2 dutifully farming your gold, and then bang, they give everyone a bonus 2,000 gold, except you, if you didn't happen to be online for that couple of hour period. And it's not just that, but the following day they go and pull the rope up on it. And then this happens over and over again. I think it was like 3 separate occasions in Phase 3. Each situation just felt more and more ridiculous. There was a bit of a content drought in Phase 3 as well, and it was a time that many people, myself included, decided to take a break, particularly as Cataclysm Classic was coming out. So now though, we're looking at Phase 4, and is it time to go back? The PTR has come out this week. There's only really class changes on the PTR at the moment. Much less has been said about anything else, including professions. The class changes are pretty vast, as you can imagine, for level 60. One pretty cool change I've seen is that the runes, namely the ring runes, are actually bind on account. This little change is really cool. Otherwise, there will be a 20-man Molten Core this phase, some extra dungeons unlocked, some reputations, a few world bosses that are going to be 20 to 40 player, and the reputations are getting some extra recipes, which could be really, really nice for professions. Another change we know of is that the incursion areas will become a daily quest hub. Hopefully this change will keep the incursion areas relevant, as well as the reputation rewards that you get from them. Daily quests generally do give a good amount of gold, so hopefully that'll keep the incursion gold coming too. Now, given that we know Phase 4 is going to take us to Molten Core, it's time to get your fire resist ready. So how many here stocked up on how much fire elemental then? Or elemental fire, as people call it. I'm willing to bet a few of you have really stocked up. Greater Fire Protection Potion requires elemental fire and a dream foil. I'm expecting this potion to do really well this phase, unless of course they introduce a greater fire protection potion, which they may well do. In Season Discovery, it's always a possibility. You create the greater fire protection potion with alchemy. Now, you might remember in Phase 3, they introduced specializations to the alchemy profession. This means that your crafting may not be too profitable unless you have actually specialized. Thankfully, you don't need to choose a specialization for alchemy. You can take more than one in Season of Discovery. It's an awesome change, but it can be a bit annoying and costly to get your specs sorted. So consider doing that right now, or at least well in advance of Phase 4. Unless, of course, you already have, in which case just, sit back, relax. So over the last few days, I've been logging in, logging out, trying to get my account in order. One thing I am finding is that it's actually really hard to make extra gold on the auction house right now. There's not that many people around, so they're not buying things, not as quickly as I'm used to anyway. This means if you do get your sales, the prices tend to be quite high. The sales are nice, but there's just not quite enough of them. Now I am back and preparing though. If I'm going to do one thing, or recommend that you do one thing to prepare for Phase 4, in honesty, is actually to do some incursions, as they're currently really good to get some extra gold. If your server is awake enough that you can find a group, then you should be able to net yourself an easy 120 gold per hour. This isn't huge, but it is decent. Just keep plodding away at it whenever you can be bothered. Right now, on EU at least, the population on some servers isn't too great, so it's hard to sell everything that you get when you do some farming. So remember, if you farm and craft and your items aren't selling, you don't need to worry too much, just hold and hopefully players will be back soon. I'm still getting my head back around Season of Discovery after my Cata break, but as we find out more about professions, I'll be posting some extra videos in the next couple of weeks to keep you updated. Thank you for watching today. If you found this useful, please do take a moment to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye.